Hello everybody, this isn't Mike yet, this is Kaya, but in his video he talks about not being able to find his beanie. This hat is Mike's hat. Wanted to let you know what it looks like, we found it. Mike is also relatively co-con in front with me. This is a little intro before you get into meeting him. If you don't know who we are and what we do, this channel is called DissociaDID. It's a project for raising awareness about dissociative identity disorder and other trauma-related disorders. Dissociative identity disorder develops in childhood when a child experiences repeated trauma. This is generally before the ages of 7 to 9. In order to deal with this repeated trauma, the brain dissociates from the reality of those experiences and puts up amnesia walls. This means that that child can go about daily life without being burdened by the understanding and the reality of the trauma or abuse that they're experiencing. We all start off with an unintegrated personality. That personality has to develop and coalesce into a strong personality at around the ages of 7 to 9. That's true for everybody. Because these children have these amnesia barriers that are preventing them from understanding and re-experiencing the abuse or trauma, when it comes time for that personality to coalesce, it's unable to. That means that instead of being able to come together as one integrated personality, multiple personalities develop separately. Some will have the understanding and awareness and memory of that trauma, and others will not. Others will be able to go about life without being burdened by that. As this child continues to grow, the brain has now learned that in order to deal with trauma or abuse, it should be compartmentalized or separated by amnesia, and because of that, new alters can continue to be made if new trauma or abuse is experienced or there are periods of high stress. That is now the brain's go-to response in dealing with anything that is extremely distressing, is to dissociate from it and create a new alter to hold those experiences. So I'm Kaya, I'm the host of the system, which means that I am in front or using the body most often. I take care of daily life, and I'm going to pass you over to Mike, who filmed earlier in the week. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell button if you are interested in this video or interested in other videos meeting other alters in our system who bring you these videos, or learning more about DID or PTSD or trauma, how to deal with it and how to recover. Also the psychology and all the sciencey stuff behind it too. If you go do that now, then you don't have to worry about it and you can listen to Mike. Just an idea, you don't have to, it's just a plan. Oh my god, get out of here. Okay, moving over. Hi everybody, this is Mike. I'm doing a Meet the Alters video. What are you doing? She's climbing into a bag. Hey kid, what are you doing? Sit with me if you're going to be cheeky. You chill with me? What? Oh, that was very gentle actually. No, he was very gentle, thank you very much. My name is Mike. My god. Hey, no. What are you doing? Play with that. Oh my god. Let's just try again. Hi everybody, my name is Mike. If you followed our other social medias, you're probably relatively familiar with me. It's not unusual for me to be popping up on TikTok or switching out during the gaming streams on Twitch, which our Twitch is the system stream. I'm a trauma holder. I dealt with it badly, not anywhere near as destructively as a lot of other people in the system. And now, people on the internet have called me class clown. The person who will play playful tricks. There's a lot of back and forth and banter between me and Kaya that's often shown publicly because we're usually relatively close to each other in the front.
That's my character. I'm the trash man. I come out, I throw trash all over the ring. And then I start eating garbage. That's a real hot album, homie. I wonder who wrote it. Oh shit.
I'm probably the person who fronts next most often, other than like a small group of littles, to Kaya, you know. I really like playing games. It's like my favourite form of escapism. I really like puzzle games, like adventure puzzle games, not like a jigsaw puzzle or something. Usually like on the gaming stream and stuff like that, on the system stream, me and Kaya will end up sort of on top of each other or co-fronting, and then we'll be arguing over who's doing what or how, you know, the body's using an analogue stick or whatever. I'll be pulled front if there's like a lot of action or a lot of brain work needs to be done, and that originated as me wanting to distract, because if I was focusing on these puzzles, I couldn't be focusing on running from my trauma or thinking about it. A lot of the trauma I hold is emotion based. It's the emotions of particular traumas, the fallout from some of it, that manifested in a nasty way. But I don't necessarily hold any memory of things that actually happened most of the time. You know, playing those games went from being a distraction, a coping mechanism, to just something I really enjoy doing. I am a guy who has a lot of humour, a guy who's maybe a little bit mean sometimes, but I don't mean to be mean. It's just the best way I know to communicate when I'm not happy with something. And sometimes I'm just funny because I am inherently hilarious, frankly, and that's a core part of who I am. I have changed in the last 5 years. I've gone from being a very, very traumatized, standoffish, nasty person to be around to having some serious fucking growth. Things are different now, and I am grateful for my system. Ugh, grim. Cheesy as fuck. Oh, I should probably tell you what I look like. So I've got brown hair. I'm almost always wearing a hat. I was looking for my beanie today. Couldn't fucking find it anywhere, which is really annoying because I have one hat that's my hat. It was given to us by a subscriber. It's like a grey beanie. I used to wear it all the time and I don't know where it is. Brown hair, green eyes. I wear loose clothes a lot. Pale skin, paler than Kaya is. Kaya's a bit more sort of tanned, like she's been walking around in the sun for a bit. I'm more pale than that, but not like pale. Like Kaya was pale, and Nin and Chloe were pale. But yeah, that's who I am. Some of you may know me from a Meet the Boys video that was done years ago. I don't know if that was, 2018 or whatever. It's not up anymore. And it's probably a good thing that it's not up anymore. Most of us in that video have changed massively, myself included. We still change and grow within ourselves, just like any other normal person would, right? Like, we change along with our experiences and our healing and our learning, and, you know, we pick up parts of people that we meet, and it's a positive and healing thing to change, right? If you'd seen the original Meet the ALTERS Boys video, which was removed because we started gaining popularity, and Gregory, who was in that video, he's extremely anxious, was like, I don't want this attention, I don't want anybody knowing who I am, I'm not comfortable with this, so we took it down. I haven't watched it back because it's just from what I remember being like back then. I was angry as hell. I was withdrawn. I didn't really connect with other people in the system, didn't really want to. And my role back then was, I was starting my healing journey at that point, but my role had been previously to stop any other alters and the body from going to therapy. I would step in and interfere. I'd make sure that we would end up somewhere not therapy, where we were not supposed to be, or I would literally just front and sit until it was too late for us to go to therapy and then go back inside again. I knew why I was doing it, but looking back now was extremely frustrating and painful and scary for other alters, especially Chloe, who was the host at that time, who obviously really didn't like me very much because she couldn't understand why I was acting the way I was. I also had a lot of issues with self-harm, trauma memories and stuff like that. I was standoffish, I was irritable, I was angry, I was not an open or pleasant person to be around. And I don't necessarily regret being like that, but I am glad that I'm not like that anymore. So how did that change happen? We had a DID specialist who was the first therapist we had after we got officially diagnosed. And I fucked around and found out. I kept stopping us going to therapy. And she held up a mirror for us, which she did regularly, and was like, look, I can take into consideration when you're struggling or whatever like that, but don't fuck with me. I will drop you. I don't care if I'm getting paid and you don't turn up. I will drop you for somebody who, will do the therapy. But more than that, because that obviously didn't make me listen. It made me poke my ears up a bit. But she did successfully manage to help us get out of an abusive relationship that we were in and help us move out of that abusive environment. She helped us when we moved back into another environment that was extremely difficult for us to be in and re-traumatizing to live there, and helped us through DissociaDID being created in 2018 and 19. She helped us push ourselves. We would never have gone to do things like the Anthony Padilla interview if she hadn't encouraged us to step outside of our comfort zone. We made a lot of big steps, and even I could see that this, although scary, was benefiting our healing massively. And I did start to change. So in the inner world around those years, I was mostly keeping to myself. I didn't particularly like to interact with other people that much, except from some of the other guys. So this is probably around like 2019 time now, like late 2019 maybe. I was spending most of my time around other fragments in the system. So fragments are like alters who are not necessarily fully formed. They're sort of either have, very small roles or not much identity outside of those roles, or maybe they hold very, very specific little tiny bits of trauma or aspects of emotions or something very, very specific, but they're not necessarily fully fleshed out as alters in the same way as like I am, or Kaya is, or Sally is, or Ruby is, or Jade is, or anyone else who you might be familiar with. I spent a lot of time around them. I also spent a lot of time around Jake, who we do consider to be a fragment. I honestly don't know whether he's still there anymore. But I think through part of my healing, a lot of those fragments, excluding Jake, who I know now aren't there anymore, I have started to wonder, literally while I was thinking about filming this video, it's the first time I've ever really thought of it. I was like, maybe we were actually fusing. Maybe because I was spending so much time around those fragments and doing healing on my own, you know, changing the way I saw things and allowing myself to open up to other people and listen to our therapist and allow the system to have some kind of autonomy and actually work with rather than against the process of healing, that it was opening me up to learning and growing. And these other fragments who held either bits of things or actions or emotions or memories didn't necessarily need to be fragmented off by the brain anymore, and I had space while I was growing. And I'm wondering how much of my change is actually if maybe there was some really slow fusions going on, or whether I'm just a better person now, or it might be a bit of both. But that's food for thought. You don't necessarily have to be consciously aware of when things like that happen, and you know, the brain does what it feels is best. I still consider myself to be Mike. I don't really notice a change, other than obviously there has been changes, but it's been really gradual. I spent a lot of time around Jake. Jake is a fragment, if he's still around. I don't know, I haven't heard from him in a while. Being around him feels bright and warm and full of energy. He's a very attractive person to be around, not in terms of like physically attractive, but like he's somebody who makes you want to be around him. He's really fucking funny. He's not as funny as me, but he is funny. After spending so much time around him, I wanted to feel like that. I wanted to feel like how I felt around him when I was by myself. I wanted to be able to feel good, feel happy, because I didn't feel good or happy. I felt angry, I felt distressed, I felt frustrated, I felt distrustful. I had this deep-seated sense of disgust around myself and other people due to things I'm not really willing to get into, either with myself or other others yet. I will bury that deep and bring it up another day. But I've done a lot of self-processing on that shit. And a lot of it was probably part of that. And as I said, Jake was really funny. And I started connecting to that humour. Started making jokes. Borrowed some of his energy, maybe just being around him energized me. I don't know. I became a lot more energetic, a lot less withdrawn, a lot more enthusiastic about the idea of interacting with other people because I could mess with them a little bit. I went from being extremely destructive in the way I was behaving to not as destructive and more teasing, more, I'd still act out to get my way and get things done that I thought were important or necessary, but I'd do it in a way that wasn't necessarily harmful. It might not be pleasant, but the more I grew, the more I used humour as my defence mechanism. I was working on things internally, but humour is absolutely my defence mechanism. And if you're familiar with us, like for example on TikTok, the way I get things done, or, you know, call Kaya out publicly when I need to, because they don't always listen to me, I will tease them in a humorous way, but with an underlying current of, I'm telling you off and you know I'm telling you off. The difference there is that I'm actually really close with Kaya. Jake was, I don't really know what the term would be, Kyle's brother in the internal world. So, okay, Kaya is the fusion of Kyle and Nin was the fusion of Chloe and Nina. So Kaya is the fusion of Chloe and Nina, Nin, and Kyle, and now Kaya. So there have been 5 people, right? Chloe didn't listen to me. Obviously, I was an asshole. She'd just recently been diagnosed, didn't know what the fuck was going on, and I was stopping her accessing the people who would help or give her answers or, you know, make any kind of progress. And obviously that was really fucking scary for her, and I did not give a fuck. Honestly, I didn't. I wish I could say that, oh, you know, I gave a little bit. I didn't care. I did not care. I did not care about Chloe. I didn't care about how she felt. I didn't care about what was scaring her unless it would affect me. Obviously, the way I was acting was why she wasn't listening to me, because she didn't know better. She didn't know what alters were on a deeper level. She didn't know who I was. She didn't know why or how to deal with that. And I didn't either, because I hadn't had any specialist therapy and I was stopping our access to it. Kaya does listen to me, and Kyle would listen to me as well. Sorry, I'll pronounce that more clearly. Kaya does listen to me, and Kyle would listen to me. I like Kyle a lot. It was rare that I'd be able to spend a decent amount of time with him because he was always so busy as primary protector. Like, he was busy, but he was like a guy you could depend on 100%. You know, everybody loved Kyle. That's a lie. Some people hated Kyle, but everybody respected Kyle. But also a lot of us, shockingly, respect Kaya as host, because Kaya has the same sense of unshakable reliability. They have a lot more fire in them than any of our previous hosts have done before. I know that I can still be myself in expressing shit to Kaya in a way that's maybe a little bit mean, but now covered by a lot of humour. And they know that I'm not actually really trying to be mean, but I am trying to get a point across. But they won't just, take it or assume that, oh, we're just bantering, whatever. They will throw the same energy right back at me. And that makes me feel like we're on more of an equal level. It makes me feel respected, it makes me feel seen, and it does reassure me that Kaya does see me as somebody who is strong and powerful and capable on their own, and is more than capable of causing a fuss if I need to. But they respect me enough to listen to me and respond in my own language, which is humour. And also I know that Kaya misses being Nin and Kyle, and the humour and banter. They were always bantering. It was actually really exhausting for the rest of us, because anyone who got near front would just be this absolutely sickening display of obvious love that they were both in denial about because of both their past with each other and with other people. But like, the humour was insane. They were really funny together, right? I wish we could have shared it with you. Like, obviously you only see tiny bits of our life, but they were really funny together. And the closer they got as fusion started to happen, the more it was just a constant back and forth, because they were practically on top of each other in the headspace all the time, obviously, because they were becoming one person. I know that Kyle and Nin, they found a lot of comfort in feeling that safety that came out through humour with each other. I think that's one of the reasons why me and Kaya get on so well. Also, probably because the type of humour that I picked up came from Jake, which is Kyle's brother. So it's all familiar. Like, we're able to sort of speak each other's language, even though we're very different. And my relationship with Kaya is completely different from, for example, Nin's relationship with Kyle, and how that was, like, completely different. It's kind of like brotherly energy, I guess, between us. Which, again, would make sense because I spent a lot of time with Jake. So yeah, there's a little bit of my story. Nice to me, yeah? Make sure you come and check out our gaming streams sometimes if you want to see me more often. I'm pretty sure we're going to start picking them back up again soon. We got real sick for a while. Real sick. But now we've got a lot of answers, and, we're undergoing different treatments, and we're doing better for it. We're doing better for it. Naturally, we're jumping back on the bandwagon. Bye. What is it that we say at the end? Lots of love, everybody. Lots of love, everybody. Bye. No, lots of love, everyone. Whatever. Love you. Bye. I hope that you enjoyed that video. If you'd like to learn more about dissociative identity disorder or PTSD, anything to do with what we raise awareness for on the channel, please check out our other playlists. Make sure that you've liked this video, subscribe to the channel, and most importantly, hit that bell button. If you click the name DissociaDID, it will take you to the main channel page and you will see a little bell. Click it and you'll be able to receive notifications. Otherwise, you're going to miss our videos, and that would really suck, because we like seeing your comments and we like being able to communicate and interact with you. Don't forget to check out our other videos at the end if you'd like to see them. We're also raising money for legal costs via a fundraiser. This money is sent directly to our lawyer. It bypasses us completely. It's completely handled by the legal fundraising company, which only fundraises for legal causes. If you'd like to donate or share that, it is www.crowdjustice.com/case/dissociated. It's a big help, and we're so ready for this to be over. Please stay safe, look after yourselves, be gentle with yourself, and don't forget to practice your grounding skills. We will see you in the next video. Lots of love, everybody. Bye.